Hey everyone, Mr. Mom Collectibles. I am back with another quick little unboxing review, and today we're going to be looking at the Black Adam figure. This is the DX31, the golden version deluxe, which, as you can see here, this is the figure fully unboxed out of the packaging on the display stand. So what we're going to do is, this is just going to be a little review, giving you my thoughts on the figure. There's been other unboxings, complete breakdowns of this, so I thought I'd just share with you kind of my overall thoughts about the figure and go over some key critical things, such as removing the cape, my thoughts on the cape, the accessories, and the overall just presence of the figure and the USB feature. But if you want to check out some other unboxings, I'm sure there's definitely some on YouTube that do a complete breakdown of this. But we're going to get into just basically some of the major bullet points of the figure and give you my overall thoughts about it. This is one that I was very excited for. I know the movie wasn't everyone's favorite. Believe it or not, I wasn't that upset about the movie for me, but I'm always someone that can separate the character from like a hot toy figure from the movie. Where if a movie's not that great, but it gave us great figures visually or just what character development, I'm still gonna pick them up. And this is one of those examples. And it's The Rock. When are you ever gonna get another Hot Toys Rock figure? We are not sure. So for me, it was an absolute definite to pick this one up. So let's jump into some of the details. First things first, I'm just going to get into the accessories real fast. So obviously you have the base with the deluxe here, set of hands, and you get electrical effects. Base itself looks pretty cool. It's something that I wouldn't try to pose him sitting on it just because there's really no room for it. I've seen pictures and videos of people trying to pose him in that like iconic sitting pose. It's just not feasible. So I'm going to have mine standing like in a museum. Also, it has all these electrical effects here. You could choose to insert them in the various points here if you want. There's little holes in all four of these points that you can actually insert, or you can have them holding these. And there's really no rhyme or reason to them. They kind of just plop in very simply, as you can see there. Like I said, the hands. The biggest thing about this figure, I think, is going to be the sculpt. I mean, the sculpt looks fantastic. This is one of two head sculpts. This is the quote unquote people's eyebrow version, and you can see it even there with the lighting. I mean, the lighting's not great here, but I mean, the likeness is, I think, uncanny to The Rock. I mean, it just looks really great. The detail that they did. You do see the kind of the neckline there. Not the end of the world. They all have them, but the detailing in this is really amazing. It's one of the better sculpts I've seen in a long time from Hot Toys. And I felt like with such an iconic character like The Rock, they had to hit a home run on this one, and I do think they did. And I do think this. I'm waiting for who's the first one that's going to do a Kit Bash WWF version of The Rock. Using the alternate head sculpt, so we'll see. And also does have the purse system as well. So, like I said, the sculpt is pretty amazing. Base itself, it's pretty big. It does have Black Adam right here. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Kind of would have been cool if it was just kind of this pattern around. That way this could have been used with other characters if you like to swap bases and stuff like that. Screwdriver did not come with the figure. This is my own, and this is the little clip piece that comes with the USB, the battery pack for the LED light up feature. Like I said, the base is pretty neat. I am going to display him on this. It is a big piece. And then we're going to take a look at the figure, and I'll try to give you my thoughts on the figure overall and some of the things I like and some of the things I don't like. So this is the figure how I have him posed up and how he will remain. It is kind of in a museum pose. I do like how the arms do sit pretty flush to the side of the body, and although it's a big body, this is a big figure. I don't have anything in my collection that kind of compares to it. Even like putting it next to the Justice League or the Superman Batman, it looks bigger and more updated and advanced. And so I really hope we get an updated version of that. But like I said, the body's really nice, and as big as it is, the arms do fit pretty nicely to the side of the body. I do have him with the gesturing hands open with the electrical effects. Now you can have these swapped as per the instructions, and if you want them reversed where the electrical is going like up his arms, but I liked it like this with his hands. It was very tedious to get the hands wrapped in the electrical like this. To be honest with you, the instructions call for using the fisted closed, but I was able to get the gestured open. I think it gives a more natural look to the figure. It looks much more imposing on the base like that. And I do have it with the cape on. That is how it arrives, with the cape on. Got to admit, I don't like the cape at all, and there's a reason for it. Now, before you chew me up in the comments and look at the left side or the right side and say, oh, you messed up the shoulder, I did this on purpose. If you're looking at this, the right side, the cape is really meant to be kind of thin, and I'll show you guys in a moment how that sits. But the left side is me kind of folding it over because the wire is so thick. Now that is one thing, the wire is very thick on this. I don't know if those who have the Moon Knight figure, I know that figure had a really thick wire, and I know previous Hot Toy capes are pretty crappy, But the wire is very thick, like you see here. It does hold a very good pose, but unfortunately, that's the problem. I feel like because the cape was CGI'd in the movie, and it looks very thin, almost like silk because it was CGI'd. This is very thick, this cape, personally, and I just don't think it translates well. That's my own opinion, of course, but the left side is me kind of futzing with it, trying to get that nice seam over the bicep, while the right side is very much, as you can see there, it's kind of sticking up there, and the cape does need a lot of work to futz with it if you're one of those. But honestly, I'm used to seeing him without the cape, so I will have it posed completely without. And I'll do a little demonstration of showing you guys actually how to remove the cape off the figure, because like I said, I do think the cape kind of takes away. If you look at it, you have this big kind of, the cape is very overpowering in terms of the visual aspect. And when you remove the cape, you do get to see more of the display base and everything like that. And I do think it has a better feel for the figure overall. So we're going to take a look at that now and show you guys how to actually remove the cape, which I actually do like this system a lot in terms of the removal with the screws. All right, guys, so as I said, what you will need is a screwdriver to do this. Now, try to remove the head sculpt first. So you have the head sculpt, the neck piece, and then this little trim here. That is a separate piece, so forgive me if I try to. But we're going to remove the head, so the head pops off. And this is the neutral expression. Like I said, this doesn't have the people's eyebrow, and you can see there, very minor in terms of expression. This one, closed mouth, people's eyebrow. This one, kind of mouth half open, straight on gaze. And then you have this piece here, which is the neck, which you remove this. As you see there, that removes. And then you're left with this trim piece here, and there's 2 screws, and you just remove the screws. Now, before I do that, I do want to show you guys what I mean by the cape. So the cape here, I'll pull it in for a moment so you guys can see, forgive me. But you can see here, the cape is really meant to, it's very thin. This is one layer. The wire starts right here. You can see that little bulge right there. That's the wire. To me, the cape should lay like this in terms of seamless. It should lay flush across the bicep. Unfortunately, if you leave it like that, you're just not going to get it because of that poof. What I did over here is I actually rolled the cape. So we're going to take the wire and roll it, as you can see, and kind of create like a little flap like that, and tuck the wire in, so you're actually rolling about a little bit of the cape underneath. And if you work with it, see how you get that better flush look? And that's kind of what I did here. That's what I mean by working with it. So that looks a little bit better. But like I said, all I did was take the cape and you see like this, and I just tucked it underneath. Whether or not it's supposed to be like that, it's hard to say, because mine did not come like that out of the box. But you can see what I mean. But I'm not going to leave the cape on. We are going to unscrew this. So we're going to take one screw out, and the other screw. And I don't mind if Hot Toys does this for future figures, because I think this is a nicer system. And this pops right off. Don't lose the screws. And then there's the cape, so you just pop the cape off. And just very simply remove this. And now we just basically reinsert everything. So we put the neck piece back on with the screws. So now we're going to neck piece back on, and the head sculpt back on. And there you have it. So now this is the Rock Black Adam without the cape. Now I hope you can understand what I mean by that in terms of the visual aspect, how you can see more behind the character. And I just feel like it's much more imposing without the cape on, and it really shows off more of the figure. I do feel like the cape is kind of fighting for control visually versus the figure itself, and I do think this is a much better looking stance. Now the USB final piece, the USB wire, as you can see, is running out the back. I'll turn the figure around, and one of my concerns was how would it look with the seam, and as you can see here, you could Velcro this pretty much closed shut, and there's no issue of the suit, so that's good. And what we're going to do now is do a little light test. So I got him here, and we have a USB battery pack hooked up, and we are going to plug this in, and then flip the switch, and there is the light effect. So this is my first figure really having this USB system in terms of this with the pack. It kind of sucks because with Electro, that was USB-C that you could have ran right into the figure, so it's a little perplexing why this has this type of system. I know the DX Darth Vader has this. There's a little switch on and off. This little clip comes with it, so you can clip this on the back of the figure, or if you use the dynamic flight pole, you can switch it out to this piece and actually plug the flight pole into it. So you can do that as well if you want. But like I said, it's an interesting, you know, feature. I'm not sure how I feel about it overall in terms of the, you know, the look of it with the character. But the light is very bright, as you can see. Like the light is very bright when I'm turning it on and off. It looks really great. So I will have it plugged in like that with the light effect on. So I am very excited for this. But overall, to give you my thoughts on the figure, I do like it a lot. You know, a couple of things, you know, based on the thumbnail, I think it's a garbage DX. I mean, if you look at the size of the box alone, the box is ridiculously large for no reason. There's nothing here, in my opinion, that makes this a DX. This is just a regular figure released to me, I feel like. That's my battery pack. It shut off the light. I'm gonna unplug that. But for me, there's no reason for this figure to be a DX. If you watch previous reviews, like for example, the Bespin Luke over there, that's another one, never should have been a DX. The Ahsoka up there, never should have been a DX. So I just feel like this is another one, never needed to be a DX. And also multiple SKUs. You know, for the golden armor, this is like the DX 31. And then for the version with the blue, there's I think it's 29 and 30. So technically 3 SKUs for this figure, completely unnecessary. They should have had the blue be one with, you know, and I think the only difference is the head sculpt and maybe the base. And that sucks. You know, it's stupid to have multiple SKUs. The box, I'm going to throw it out. I already threw out the shipper. I just kept the box here for the sake of the video, but I will be throwing this box out because it's a waste of space. It is huge. This box is very big, and I just don't think that it's going to take up space unnecessarily. So it's a waste to have. I will have him displayed like this with the, you know, the base on there and everything like that. So how you see the figure is how he's going to be displayed. I have him set up that way to keep him kind of straight museum, but he looks very empowering like that. But like I said, no need for a DX. The box, all that was fluff. There was nothing special about this that made it DX worthy, in my opinion. If anything, you could argue and say that the new Indiana Jones figure coming out, that could have been a DX because of the leather and other, you know, leather goods and things like that for the value. So once again, this is just another one of those pointless DX figures that didn't need to be, in my opinion. You know, and you know, I might track down, but I think I might leave it like this because I'm changing my thoughts on it. Originally, I wanted to do what a lot of people are thinking of and picking up the hood from the blue version, I'm calling it, and putting it on this. But I really do. I think I just like him like this. I think I'm not sure if I'm going to chase the hood. I know there's been other reviews out there where people have taken this golden version and put the hood on it from the other, and that's kind of been like the thing to do. But I kind of like him just as is, like I said, with no cape, no hood, no nothing. It really shows off the figure, and it's in, you know, the whole pose of it and everything. So let me know what you guys think, you know, in the comments below. Drop a like on this video. Please consider subscribing if you have not already. Enjoy the content. And let me know if you guys picked this up, what your thoughts are. And like I said, this is just unfortunately another one in the line of DXs that didn't need to be. And lately, the last couple of Hot Toys DXs I feel like have struck out. And I think this is another one. It's a great figure overall. For me, as of right now, this is a top 10 figure of the year contender. I have no problem saying that. This, along with Dead Strange over there, those are 2 top 10 figure of the year contenders. This one easily is. And so those are my thoughts on it. I won't be picking up the other version. I don't think it's necessary to have 2 of them. I think this is probably like the ultimate version to have. That's just my opinion. But like I said, let me know in the comments below. Until then, this is Mr. Mom Collectibles, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.